What up, everybody? It's Nicole here, the Crystal Messenger. We're about to go live. Sarah's gonna come hop in any second now. We're gonna talk about the equinox today and happy Libra season. Hope y'all are doing good. Hey, waiting for Sarah. How's everybody's equinox going? How are you guys feeling? Love you, Binti. Thank you for saying hi. Hey, Sarah.
Hello, my friend. Happy Maybon.
Happy Maybon. What does that even mean? I
I
actually don't know what that
literally,
means.
I don't know what it means and I don't know how to pronounce it, but it makes me laugh. I'm thinking like Maybon. Happy Maybon.
Nice.
I think this is so symbolic that we're doing this live from your account, from Sarah, and then we're going to put it on the Moonual. Isn't that such a perfect, like, like equal partnership? Like, oh, we should use all of our networks. We should actually like,
Yeah,
it's
partner.
how fabulous. Oh, thank you, Bindi.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely about partnership. So we are here. It is Libra season. It's the first day of Libra season, which starts on the 22nd this month, which usually starts on the 23rd. But because it was a leap year, fun fact that I learned the other day.
And how special that it's like 2020. It's 4 2s, and we are the 222 crew. It's a master 222 moment.
It really is. How amazing. And it's a divine feminine moment. So, like a completely stepping in and completely taking over, because that's what the twos represent, too.
No,
So,
it feels like we're literally in a portal where we're able to like just very easily, like there's an option that's just like a step, like a quantum leap into the next phase. Like you get to graduate if you choose. This is the end of the cycle. Graduate if you choose, and like step into that being. And it feels really like, yeah, like a divine feminine awakening portal, just being like, yeah, we actually are just gonna, it's not even about like taking back power. It's just like step up enough that we're just, things balance out.
yeah, things balance
The
out.
men can go to sleep, the women can wake up.
Yeah, the men gotta go sleep. I mean, in a sense, what I want to say to all the men, right, for this time as we're going through this Libra season, we have the sun, like opposite of Mars, kind of sort of. Well, not yet, but we're
Well,
basically.
we're heading there. I'm really excited. We got to talk about this astrology. I also have your charts up just in case.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, Libra season we have like this masculine energy basically confronting the feminine this whole Libra season in a very equal way, basically butting heads and at the same time coming to a compromise, which is what the season is about and what oppositions are about. So we're gonna see that play out like everywhere in our personal lives, on the world stage. Love the filters.
I'm just, it's funny. I was about to say, like, it's really just like a coming to terms of what is,
Yeah.
It's not even about masculine and feminine. It's just like actually just getting real about what is.
Definitely. I feel like I was talking to a poltergeist. Like, so I'm gonna pull some cards. I mean, I kind of want to get your understanding though of what the equinox is in your words. Like, what
Okay,
is right?
so
We're we're basically going into this fall session for real, and we're in my opinion, we are seeing everything that we've reaped, and we're really cutting out basically the stuff that really doesn't work, right? Which is the end of Virgo season, and now we're transitioning into what works should be all that's around us, and then we're seeing like the rest of this year play out, right? Like how does that make sense to you?
well, okay, so I have the chart. So it's like, okay, what I feel like is going on is that at the beginning of this year, right before we entered this like conjunction, like, like an obstacle course we've been going through, right at the beginning of the year, I think, or like even in December, we started to plant some seeds. And then when there was that Aries uh, new moon in
Mm-hmm.
April, after sort of everything went down, we planted seeds in December. Then in April, we actually like stepped into this like new persona, but we've kind of just been like, it's been like a big open mic until this point, right? Because like we're all planning for the real world out here, and all of a sudden it's the plague and the world's on fire, and like, there are no kangaroos, like all sorts of shit, right? There are no bees, there are malls all over Philadelphia, like it's all weird, right? So all of a sudden we got to step into this new character, but like no one was really watching unless you were like already really famous. So it's been
Yeah.
this really creative time where you're kind of seeing people start to find their voices or become the next evolution of themselves. And now that it's Libra season, I feel like this is where because we were being so much more authentic starting in like April specifically, because we were being so much more authentic, now we kind of know who our friend groups our friend groups have shifted. The people that you spent a lot of time with, like now, especially because of coronavirus, we're really not spending time with each other in the same way. Like we haven't seen each other as much as we did at first, except that when we did see each other, it was this really rich experience. So it's actually not better or worse, but it's just seeing these differences in how we're spending our time, who we're spending our energy with, and especially who we're spending our energy with, because like life is now like online. So in order to actually feel connected and have connected conversations, you have to really be also practicing other levels of communication that keep you actually connected. And that's where we lucked out, because we were doing all this telepathy work that like, unless you were really practiced in doing that, you might feel really disconnected at this time. But like every time you and I check in, we're in the middle of the same conversation somehow. And like, we get to like, just go right there. Right. Because when you're kind of conscious, when you're doing your work, you can reach people up here. And I think now we're seeing on earth in the physical what conversations up here were like the highest level, because now if we're in the space of love, we're stepping into the highest timeline. So now we're going like, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. And so all the partnerships we're in, if they don't feel like, oh my God, I love you, like if you can't just be like acknowledge each other and complimenting each other because you just have to, the way you do with like a lover, where you're just like, you're beautiful, like you're so beautiful, and like, you know, you should feel that way with every partner in your life. And if you don't, time for them to go, because we're actually stepping into the second half of this cycle where we chose our avatars. But now it's like, okay, the movie's beginning. So now we have our teams, we have our avatars. Okay, but now, you know, come December, it's really about to start. So I think from now until December, and that's what this Mars retrograde is about, it's actually going like, whoa, 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 whoa. Before we reach the new era, the Mars retrograde is about, you know, because everything is duality, right? So the Mars retrograde is about the masculine energy going within, but the feminine energy also like rising to power because of all this other stuff going on in Aries. We have Chiron, the wounded warrior, moving through Aries. We have Lilith, the dark feminine. So every inner feminist is waking up. Every inner abolitionist is waking up. All of our inner activism, not from a performative place or to say we did because we feel bad, but from an actual place of authenticity. We are connecting with people, and those are the relationships that we're meant to move forward with. So if you're not feeling that, make room for them, because this retrograde is about writing the things that are still kind of like, we're not ready to start the movie yet. We don't have all the stuff in place. So this is the divine feminine's sort of like, you know, we're back, you know, from like Atlantis. And I do think that the US astrology is very connected to the Atlantean astrology. So I think what's happening now is this whole new wave of leaders in the Aquarian age. These Aquarius leaders are waking up, both of us included, and going, oh, I haven't had anything wrong with me. I've been reading a different conversation. I've been sort of tracking a conversation that, you know, astrology helps us to access, tarot helps us access. So anyway, that's really like what I think is going on. So I think this Maban is all about just creating space for the men to hear the women. I think there's been a lack of communication available, and we're going to have a Mercury retrograde, and it's going to start to go into its shadow period on Wednesday. So from now until November, we're basically in a whole like rewrite. This is the final edit before the like production starts. But this is, you're editing like your life. Like it's like, okay, we're getting the pieces in place because like, you know, the next scene is like whole new world, you know, like it's like new beginning.
It's completely a whole new world that we're stepping into. But I think the key words to what you're saying is higher conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going back to the message for the masculine, not only the feminine. And what I mean, everyone has masculine energy. Anyone who's going to watch this after now know that you have a masculine presence, you have a feminine presence, right? Like these are things that we are actually understanding, and we're not to suppress anymore, those sides of us. But this higher conversation is exactly what we're all stepping into. So if you can't participate in that higher conversation, and that doesn't mean that you need to know astrology or you need to know what's happening, everything that's going
Or
on in
you
the
need to smoke pot.
world. And you don't need to know like every detail of what's happening in the world and what around you, and you don't need to have degrees in order to have this higher conversation. It really is about listening and opening space for everyone's opinion to be heard. If at this point, especially this Libra season, if you are suppressing anybody else's words and opinions and how they feel, and you're not accepting the emotions, which is a big way of how we communicate. That higher
Mm-hmm.
isn't just words. It's not just the face-to-face conversation. Keep talking about telepathy, but it's also the conversation we have with our ancestors, of our family that have passed, our future kids. I think the one conversation that gets downplayed a lot is the conversation with our future self and kids, because we are so focused on calling in the past in order to help us, but we're still connected to that future. We're understanding that nothing is linear. We've come to these terms so much in the last few years, but right now, I think people are finally accepting that collectively. So now that we're having this conversation where it's okay to understand that you have a conversation that is active and alive with the kids that you may or may not have in the future, or your grandchildren and your future self too. Your higher self, in a lot of ways, is just your future self, the one that has seen more and has been through it and can help you navigate. So learning how to trust our intuition in every conversation, men and women included, and this is why we keep talking about masculine, feminine energy, because especially with this time in the year, I feel like this marks that transition too, if that makes sense. We're going into the
Yeah.
nighttime, right? Like we're going coming from like the sun and the extroverted outside energy, very active male energy, and we're retreating inside now. This is why they call it cuffing season, like for real, because everyone's cuffing. Why are people cuffing in the last half of the year? It's really because this is
It's
where we're going.
inside time.
Yeah, it's inside time. It's time to, think about love and think about our family and think about our gifts and close out the year and really get internal. So now going back to the conversation, you have to, as an individual, bridge the gap between the conversation between your masculine and your feminine. It's not even
Mm-hmm.
about one that we're having with each other, because we both represent masculine energy for each other and feminine energy for each other. So as much as we're able to come here and have these conversations that are very open, share partnership, do everything that we're basically doing with the community that we're doing it with, which is filled with like amazing strong women too.
It's so cool. The community is so like it's the best hang. It's the best group.
Yeah, if you guys haven't gone to the Moonual, you
You gotta
should.
come.
We do full moon and new moon stuff twice a month, every month, and we're really staying on track. And it's helped a lot. I mean, honestly, just constantly checking in. It feels like it's been years, even though it's only been a year now.
Well, but it actually, it's like I used to say this. It's the only way to do like life coaching naturally, right? Like you don't actually need a life coach. Although I am a life coach, you can hire me for life coaching. But the moon cycle will do it for you. If you actually, and you can join our ritual. And what a ritual is basically something that you plan on doing every month, and you commit to that, and then it means whatever it means to you. So you don't have to be that serious about it. Like I've had a ritual practice for like 5 years, but sometimes my ritual was just like beating myself up because I didn't do a ritual for the full moon, right? But it's really just noticing the time. It's marking time. So like Nicole was saying is so right that time is not linear, right? But we are on Earth, so we can use time and tracking time as a way to put in goalposts so that we can actually get a handle on our narrative and then heal what needs to be healed and then make those story point decisions as characters, from a more informed place.
Yeah.
And Nicole was talking about, you were talking about, and then you can do cards, and I can tell you why. Like, I think this Moonual might be the most important Moonual that's coming up, because it's kind of like, okay, so you're talking about that higher conversation, right? The actual physicality, like the physical things that need to happen now that we realize, yeah, we're stepping into this more feminine conversation. The conversation doesn't mean that it's like, right, girly or emotional, but it means that it actually can't help but trust the intuition. Natural women get their periods. So we don't get to decide whether we understand the nature of the
We're just
range of feelings.
we're
What'd you
just
say?
we're just connected to the earth.
We're connected to the earth and we're connected to the moon. So we're connected to the whole thing, right? We are the universe. Whoa, right? I love these filters. But so, I think that the other thing that we're talking about higher conversation, is your conversation with the universe. So there's like telepathy between hearts, telepathy between minds, telepathy between missions. And then there's sort of, what you were talking about with just like higher mind, which is just like, the real truth, the force of love, the sort of underlying mission. then there's also the higher truth, which is like, I actually think it's being able to be so zoomed out that you can be aware of your 3D conversation enough that you can you can converse with the universe and just effortlessly manifest, right? And
Exactly.
because the universe, because the structures of society and relationships have had certain goalposts that were stupid and unchangeable, we've all fucked ourselves up into thinking that we're mentally ill or that we're, there's something wrong with us, but there's not. They're just, we have, school hasn't taught us what we need to learn. The healthcare system doesn't keep us healthy. The government doesn't keep us safe. So from top to bottom, the inner is the outer, everything is being restructured. And actually, the women have just been operating underneath this structure. You know that saying in Big Fat Greek Wedding, the man is the head, the woman is the neck. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't even know if I think that's, it's like almost like that's actually still masculine and feminine. The woman is the head, but we've had to just like pretend that we've been wearing makeup. We've been having to pretend that our faces look different and put injections in and try to be. We're aware of movement because we can't help but be in the flow and we express it. So we actually need some just stable necks that aren't necessarily completely, that we need the men to be able to zoom out. So actually, I think part of this Mars retrograde too that we're going to see from now till November. Okay, so this is the thing. What we need to do as women is become more assertive and actually just start explaining ourselves. Like, I think we need to get rid of the conversation that's like no one understands us or they do. We actually just need to slow down, bummer, but we need to slow down and help people understand. We can't expect people to just catch on. If you're in a foreign country, you'll pick up. Sure, they can choose to pay to come to the foreign country, but on a basic level, we should try to help. We should try to connect, right? So for the women, we're learning what the difference between just like skipping or, whatever, and actually just asserting control and just sort of becoming power. And we actually need the men to become less aggressive. We actually need the men to let go of the desire to hurt each other. And this is also the divine
Yeah.
masculine with us. We have the part
Keyword,
of us, go ahead.
keyword each other, because it's not, they are hurting themselves and each other. So it's
That's
like,
right.
that's what we're really asking for, is for them. It's not even about them not hurting us, because at this point we got ourselves and our own, and we
We
have,
don't expect them not to. We're fine. We
but
have vibrators.
exactly. So we're just not going to put ourselves, after this year, you're going to see a decrease in a lot of relationships. You're going to see a decrease in marriages. It's going to, that kind of ball is going to keep rolling, because a lot of women are realizing that they're not here just solely to have kids. And it's okay if you don't want to. It's okay if you don't want to have a kid. It's okay if you want to stick to your career. It's okay if you want to raise your kids with your friends. Everything literally is changing. The family dynamic is changing. The relationship dynamic changing, the school system changing. And especially when we're talking about even this season, Libra season, we have this emphasis right now going back to kids and looking at children and saying that they are the underdog really of our society, because they are the ones that are easy to be manipulated, and we all come from that somehow. So we were
Well,
talking.
right. It's actually like we're actually just like programmed into re-traumatizing ourselves. We actually have to break trauma cycles. It actually has to be a different, it really is a whole different scene
Yeah.
because, yeah, anyway, I don't mean keep going, but it's like, right, this is just
Yeah.
not, this actually isn't going to work. And I think it's not necessarily that you're going to see a decrease in dating or you're going to see relationships that are not, we're coming into a time of divine union. I mean, I could look in the, that's why I pulled up your chart, because I actually can pull up asteroids in astro.com, but not on Planet Watcher. But so currently we have,
And if you don't know asteroids, because like you can look at not just your planets, you can look at not just the houses, but there's a whole ton of stories when you start to look at the different asteroids and where they fall in your chart. But
and this
that's,
like happens to be my number one passion in
yeah,
life. It turns out it's the creepiest way to do astrology. It's all
yeah,
about trying to like read your karmic diary.
literally. But it's so good if you need a reading and you want to look at your asteroids, you want to look at the storylines playing out, the love storyline, the work storyline. Ask Sarah, she's here because she knows
No,
she's.
this is literally the only thing I've been like I have been told I was procrastinating or I was like beating myself up for like being obsessed with men. But really I'm a kinesthetic learner. Okay. I have a moon, Mars, and Capricorn in the eighth house. Okay.
Our
And
are also important. Very
are
important.
a well, that's what I'm saying. To go back to the higher conversation, if we can see what we're obsessed with and just pick something that feels good and step into that path of least resistance and take that quantum leap and let go of the trauma story, that does not mean skip over it in healing it in the physical, but it means let go of the story that's stopping us from stepping forward and healing it in the physical, because we are actually programmed into re-traumatizing our children, and then we're sort of we're dying as a species and the planet's on fire. So like that isn't going to work. So this is actually not even a laughing matter. The reason that we're going to have this opportunity. So anyway, what I'm saying is right now in the sky, so we're in Aries. So we were talking about there's tons of action going on in Aries. Asteroid Juno, which is the asteroid of long-term commitment and partnership, has been moving through Libra for the last 2 months, clearing the way for this Mabon. Okay? So clearing the way for this turning of like I said it with Sharita the other day, this is the turning of the wheel. So we've been kind of subconsciously, we haven't been working right now, or we have been, but we've been actually we've been in a worldwide global open mic, and we've been trying on different versions of what this version of ourselves is like for size. And so the last basically 2 months have taken us through a whirlwind of partnership. You've probably checked in with all your past lovers and have some unresolved ending or just some turn of the scenery, because even if you thought the story that you were holding on to was true, the wheel was turning. So we can't really plan except that we have to be in conversation with our obsessions and the universe. So maybe your obsessions maybe you're not right about what guy to be obsessed with, but that obsession is teaching you asteroid astrology, which makes you the creepiest and most fun astrologer to talk to on the internet, because sometimes even if astrology is like hard to understand, I'll just tell you who you were in the Roman Empire. It's like sometimes just fun. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is
it's dead on.
No, we did a few last night that were like,
by the way, this is gonna be hilarious. I'm gonna say it on live. I don't care. I watched Brokeback Mountain.
Yo, I told you to watch Brokeback. Is it you or not you? I wish I could quit you. No, but that's what I'm saying though. Divine union. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Juno has now, on the day that basically, like 2 days ago. Oh no.
And what is Juno? Like Juno is the
marriage. It's wife.
And the wife energy. So
it's wife
concept right now when we're talking about Juno.
And it's not so right. It's not necessarily like husband and wife. It's actually all partnership, because every relationship carries equal weight. We're not doing, when we are going to choose to get married in the future or stay in relationship, it's going to be because it's some expression of divine union. Because Juno, the wife, has been traveling with Union, asteroid Union, representing divine union. So what's inevitably happening is that if you're not in divine unions, you have to find it within at this time. You will not survive. You don't want to, if you want to avoid getting coronavirus, balance your divine masculine and feminine, because divine union is keeping us in the high quantum field. And if you're carrying low energy of hanging on to toxic relationship or toxic Aries or toxic Capricorn, you're just leaving yourself vulnerable to like dying with the dinosaurs and the fossils and becoming a relic of the past, when people thought marriage was this, or people thought gay rights were a question or whatever.
And the whole thing is divine union. So those two asteroids, Juno and Union, right? Okay, because that's giving me a download too.
Just moved into Scorpio.
So now if those two asteroids were moving through Libra season or if those two asteroids were moving through Libra during Virgo season, I'm getting the download that we really were working on weeding out literally every single non-divine partnership, and every single divine partnership, whether it was only expressed in your mind, in your dreams. You can, like right now, the reason why we'll see so much different changes in this like relationship world is because we've brought it to such a lower state all these years. It hasn't been divine. But now, with knowing that, literally the wife energy is requiring nothing less than divinity from its partner. So until things are transparent, and that's the key that I really want to leave people with, honestly, because transparency, right? Now going back to the topic of children, what does that mean? Like, why am I even bringing that up? Because when we're young, our parents are literally taught not to be transparent with us. And because of that, we have learned to set up our whole foundation of dealing with another human being off of non-transparency. Now, why would that be okay in a society where we are supposed to be clear with ourselves and clear with each other in order to make the best opportunities and options for everyone, right? So if we keep lying to ourselves about how we feel sexually, gender, our wants and goals for the future, if we keep lying to each other and if parents keep lying to their kids, then we're just going to continue to breed this non-divine expression of love and communication, and it matters there first. So because we all came from that, we're now in a state where we get to see that trans that transformation happen, that conversation really take a turn. It's like, even if you're in a what you might call a low vibrational partnership at this very moment, if you're still in it, either it's because you're not having the divine actual conversation of transparency in order to close those ends and to move on. But if you are, but there's a still, if they're still around, there is something within them that is divine that you need to tap into. So, and they're trying to do the same with you. So it's really about pushing yourself, and we don't have any breaks this Libra season because of that Mars opposition. We're getting closer and closer. Mercury is already opposite of Mars, so it's like.
Well, the other thing too, dude, is that Mercury is about to go retrograde in Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Mercury retrograde is actually rewriting those partnerships based on the actual. So you want to handle that now, because you don't want to hate your fucking storyline in 2 weeks when you're like, oh my God, I got this breakup. Make it easy. Just stop. Like, get out of it. Think of something different. Have a different idea.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I had something else I want to say though. Are you? Keep going. Keep going. Keep going though. But I just want to say I have other things to say.
No. Why is it freezing? Is it freezing? Because I would be so upset right now.
Right now, you are freezing. You're gonna heat up really soon. I said it. We're back.
Yeah.
We're back. Thank God.
So,
I commanded it. That's the divine feminine.
Scorpio. Take our seconds.
Namaste.
So the last thing I will say about the Scorpio stuff is it is bringing up all the traumas, though, to be healed with the divine partnership. So if there is that conversation playing out, we're literally just seeing the traumas uprooted through this next 30 days, basically. So,
Yep.
okay, say what you gotta say, and then before it freezes.
The other thing that I want to say is the universe, because we're in this like 222 code, okay? What 222 means to me, that's like something that Nicole and I like specifically connect on. That's something that 222 is my life. It's my code. And I realized too, when Nicole and I were doing these like stalking of boys last night, I was giving her codes. I was reading codes to you to plug in the way that I read charts. The reason I do charts differently is because I've been rewriting the code of what we should look at, or what I like to look at. I'm not looking at the same charts as everybody, right? I'm looking at the code that I figured out, and it's bringing me into a different story. So when I see the 222 code, I think of synchronicity, the patterns of our lives we can't ignore. I actually, like, now that I like just chain smoke, I can't sing anymore, and that'll be the thing that brings me back, because I'm like, I think I did a Munual podcast where I like sang, and like this is now the other side of that. I sound like, but I kind of like my voice. I think I sound kind of sexy, you know. Sometimes I hate listening to my readings. Now that I'm sexy voice, I like it.
Yeah, it's like, hey.
No, I'm like more phone sex. I'm more phone. Before I was like, okay, here's the thing. Like, I'm such a yappy Jew. It's like, it should be, because of my register is lower too. I'm having to go slower because I'm like, so I'm not like, no, I'm sort of like giving myself, it's hard to explain, but like,
You're getting pressure to even talk differently, which is really.
Yeah. I have to like just do this kinesthetically. That's what I'm saying. I learn by doing. So I learn by learning about you. So I learn about, and I'm a Libra South Node. So I'm like trying to figure out like, no, I can't escape being in relationship, but I am a North Node in Aries in the 11th house. And then it's like, oh, I'm meant to use all of my relationships to actually be in love with all of these people. It doesn't mean I'm going to be polyamorous necessarily. I also might be. Lol, who cares? Who knows? But it's like, the fact is, I'm not even worried about it because I know I can handle all relationships. And I actually mastered the art of relationship. So we're all being asked to do that right now so that we can actually help. We're not going to stay here long if we're not actually helping. Like, so your relationships are that way too. If your relationships aren't actually helping, they're going to go. So right now, 222, the universe is trying to give you synchronicity after synchronicity. It is giving you layups on which path you should take. If you're having drama, but you're not witnessing the obvious layups that the universe is giving to you in terms of synchronicity and storyline completion and storyline evolution, etc., then you need to really check yourself, because you will perish. Notice the 222s. Notice the people that are here right now. Notice every conversation you've had today. How have you felt today? This is, if you have been out of balance, you feel it right now. You go, whoa, wait a second, this isn't going to work. Or you go, you know what? I'm on the other side of it and I like it. I actually love my deep raspy voice. I'm going to sound like Bonnie Raitt soon. Like, I honestly could be a whole different character. I've been myself for so long. This is different. It's like coloring my hair, right? I'm just playing. We're all just playing with the other side of the coin. So we have to think of it less as like serious, like the men need to sleep and the women need to lead. Let's just play with the flip. That's all. This Libra season, we're playing with the flip. Notice the synchronicities that are giving you full permission to go that way and go that way. That's it. Do that. And the other thing, oh yeah, that was pretty much it. The synchronicities is like, you can't not notice them.
Well, I was looking at the inside degrees and I wanted to read, right? Because we are at the sun at 0 degrees today for the equinox of Libra season. And so I want to read Virgo 30 and Libra 1, because that's basically the
Yes.
And I also want to see how it pairs with this conversation of, like, you know, the higher conversation and this divine masculine feminine.
So let me just say really quickly. So I wasn't listening, so I don't know if you said it, but basically the degrees represent channeled spiritual messages, and the astrology chart is a circle with 360 degrees on it, and every sign has 30 degrees. And so if you want to really dig deep into like the sort of like holograms of the moment, like, whoa, okay, thank you Instagram for this background, you know. I would never do this on stage, you know, like, what a fun plague treat. Like, I love this time, right? So anyway, what you want to, so you can notice certain points. So Nicole's about to read where the sun is, you know, entering this new season, which you can actually kind of read for the next 3 months. It's like the new, it's before the, you know, before the solstice, right? So we look at, you know, it's like I said, it's all a wheel. Turn, 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 right? It's just literally like, that's what it is. So now we're going, oh, I actually know how to turn it. And it's actually not shocking when I turn it. I actually know how to row, right? You're like moving through the water. That's how you have to learn to move through feelings. Everybody has to row a little crew. It's not that hard. It's, you know, and you look hot doing it, and I got to do it again. You know, so just like find the way to get in the rhythm. To us, it's the moon cycle, but notice those synchronicities. Don't resist them. And yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so she's going to read where the sun is. And this is like an interpretation of the portal of energy that we're in, the storyline, the cosmic sort of, the coloring. This is a coloring book version of what's happening right now, right? So see where it applies to your life and see, I don't know. Let's see. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so this is for the collective energy of how we're transitioning through this equinox and stepping in for the rest of the year. I will start with Virgo at 30 degrees, which is really Libra at 0. So, super sensible beings manifesting through geometric forms. Sacred geometry inscribes the pattern of the world going through its great shifts, its quantum leaps. We just mentioned that too. And I will just say the quantum leap is transparency. I just want to make it really clear for everybody. The way
100%. Somebody remind me to make that a clip. That's a good, that needs to be said. Let's make sweatshirts. I'm really into merch right now. Merch for justice. Merch for justice.
So remember, transparency is how you leap, is how you do it. If you learn to stand back within the greater archetypal motions, you find yourself being placed in perfect strategic positions, in exquisitely rightful initiations and assignments.
What I say. Yo, keep going. I'm lit.
Look at the next sentence. This is what I like to see. The transparency of things is superlative to behold. I didn't read this before. You are called to serve the highest, to respect and honor all manifestations, to be there for everybody. Interior steadfastness and implacability. Knowing the law, the code, we talked about that, and the way. How amazing. It's not.
Damn, dude.
Magnificent in applying vaster awareness to life's particular detailed variations on the theme of how everything fits together perfectly. and is woven by the divine design, the fine-tuned sensibility.
Divine design. That's a sweatshirt. Divine design. Divine design. Somebody make it a company. Buy the domain. Buy the domain. It's gonna be on the moon.
The fine-tuned the fine-tuned sensibility of the master craftsman, particularly adept in staying modest, unadorned, and straight on. It is the exemplar of the way it is done when you know who you are and how things are around here. And when you see it coming through in every jeweled detail with little lost in the translation. I kind of feel like I have to plug my jewelry at this moment just because it's my jewelry.
I was literally making us a donate link. I was actually making us a donate link right now. I'm gonna put it in the bio. You should tip us. This was good.
Yeah. Okay. So now that was Virgo 30, right? That is the end of Virgo season, the beginning of this equinox. Literally, like I said, if you want to quantum shift your reality for this 30 days, take the leap. You're going to get pressure to be transparent. You are going to, I guarantee it. And if you step up to the plate and you say it how it is, no matter like what it is that's on your mind, I promise you, the next 24 hours after that day, you're going to get some kind of shift, some kind of change, some kind
No, I feel like it's already been happening too.
of
Notice what you focus on and what you got. Notice what you've been get real about what you got. And if you don't know where that came from, notice where your mind is at.
for real.
You get what you think about. It is so real, especially because we aren't going anywhere. We're not distracted by the world, so all we're doing is thinking about. So everything that's still in our lives is what we are thinking about. And if it's not in our lives, it is not what we're thinking about. So that's why we also need to have something like the Moonual, because we need to actually keep up with multiple conversations. It's not keeping up with the Kardashians, but it is keeping up with the Moonual, because if everybody's focused on nobody knows about the law of asteroids. I'm fucking stalking my own fucking men in my life. You better believe I know about the fucking love asteroids, dude. It's my passion. It's my passion. I got into astrology to stalk boys. So no, don't take that away from me, but somebody else should be doing. I didn't have time to look into that, you know? So it's like, that's where it's like better to listen to multiple conversations, because you get a richer experience, because otherwise you're just hearing your own fucking voice.
Yeah. Show up this season like how you're talking about open mic. Before I read the Libra 1 degree, the Moonual is that too. We do that. Basically, we are.
That's what it is.
And if you need and feel like you need an opportunity or a safe place to present whatever crazy shit it is that you're doing, your project, what's on your mind, like seriously come to the Moonual and express it. It's just going to help you shift through that and make you comfortable to do that on whatever stage you want to. That's what.
And if you don't know, if you're afraid to do that without support, that's literally what I do. Like everybody in the Moonual is also my client. If you don't know what your medium is, or you're afraid to actually try, I will make you, it will be fun. I make this shit fun. So we'll figure out how to start playing in your own character. There's different ways. If you want to know how to make money doing it, Nicole's the best for that. So we can have whatever conversation that would actually help you get comfortable in this moment, because this is the moment. This is literally all we have, because we are in the middle of a hellscape that is like, the cliff is falling. So we can either like figure out how to learn to fly, or we're going to be like, "Wah," and we will be a fossil. And I hope you're wearing lipstick and what you want to be found in, or whatever.
So Libra 1 degree. What are we looking at for like basically the rest of this week? The next few days too, we'll really be hitting this Libra 1 degree. So it is called a group of fat Italian ladies preparing bread.
Good love.
Archetypal, universal, and diffuse allegiances. Activities and realms of experience.
Oh my God, wait.
Becoming camouflaged perfectly by adopting a persona that is wondrously engaging and easily connected with. Putting it on a bit heavy, thick grease paint.
Lol, same.
You excel in getting away with seeming to be the world's most anonymous person. The disguise can stick to the face. Overt consciousness, awash in mass identification. At times, you are able to penetrate through and find open possibilities, but you are primarily engrossed in the outer and alive to the advertised sensations of what it is like to be popular, well received, and simply welcome wherever you go as part of the mix, and no problem at all. So what I see with that is the issue that people can have, even though since we have that Mars opposition, it's going to force you not to sit back and basically be enough. That is the energy of what stepping into the season will feel like, because usually Libra season is about all of us coming to terms with each other and just getting along. But because of that Mars opposition, it's really going to highlight, if you are trying to stay anonymous, you will be called forth. Or there will be an opportunity, like I said, to be transparent and to be voicey, and you don't want to let anyone tell you or define who you are this season. That's like a prime time thing for Libra season, that other people try to tell you like who you are and what you like and how you should dress. But
You know
this
what's funny? As you're saying that, I'm noticing autocorrect is really making it hard for me to type my link. It's like sending the wrong words, and so it's like, really, like, don't tell me who I am. Let me just type what I'm trying to type. I'm actually not doing typos. You're changing what I'm saying. I don't mean Billy. It's not Billy.com. It's not Billy.com.
It's actually a really good piece of advice, because for this, heading into these other retrogrades and whatnot, like, turn autocorrect off. You want to really type your messages. You don't want to let your phone type it, because it probably will fuck up your places that you didn't want to say. But with that being said, it's the age of Aquarius, and we're stepping into our highest authenticity. So if you feel like you need to be in, you feel like you need to hide somehow right now, at least do it at a place like when we gather at the moon wheel, because at least you can hide in a place where you still get to be seen. If you're gonna hide out with your best group of friends who know who the fuck you are, and at least you can recite your weird ass poem that you wrote at 3 a.m. about your boyfriend, whatever it is. Like,
No, we are literally a tribe of weird ass poetry sharing, and you know what? It's good. It's pretty good shit. It's pretty good shit. It's really fun, and actually everyone's really talented, and like, you know, because like attracts like, and like we're the most talented, so obviously our community is the most talented. And honestly, it's really coming into divine feminine relationship, whether you're a divine masculine feminine or whatever, because what the moon Yule is, and when you were talking, the thing I was describing was like, or like sack up with the divine feminine, because that's what we do when you fuck you. When we fuck you, we take in all of your shit and you can't hide from us, and then you hate us for it. So that's the difference between the experiences we're having. So like, don't make me choke you too. Don't make me choke. Don't make choking me hot. It can be hot sometimes, but like, you know, I'm actually looking for like a little like tenderness. We've been doing a lot of work. Ooh, cards. What do we got?
the Chariot. So this season is going to come at us fast. I think these conversations are going to come at us fast. Nothing about this time is going to be waiting around. Like, if you've been feeling like you've been waiting for something, this is the time where the ride's gonna pull up to your house, and you either get in and you go, or you sit back, right? So there is an opportunity coming for everybody, and if you get it, even if it's a small thing, jump on your opportunity this season. Don't be shy about it. Force yourself to. The only place you can grow in is a place of uncomfortability. And
100%.
do that 100% every time we talk. So if you do it too, you can get rid of this Ten of Swords defeat. There is a lot. Hey, wait. So there is a lot of. Hey, Martha Stewart, she's badass.
I have to tell you something after this live. If you're on the Patreon, I'll tell you, but I have to tell you something crazy. Keep going.
So yes, Ten of Swords, and this kind of lack or defeat energy that we might have felt, it truly was something we never wanted to win. And as this year closes out, we're going to realize that it wasn't something we ever actually wanted. And if we won that thing, it was going to change us forever.
Well, we've literally been in self-defense mode. We've been living in fucking hell, you guys. Like, for the past 500 years, we've been literally beaten out of caring about each other, or like caring about our government caring about us. We are mentally fucking ill. Look at what I'm trying to do to compensate for how I feel about my skin. Do I need Botox? I just want to go. I literally do like this. Do I need Botox? Look, even in this filter, I can't get rid of them.
No, you're perfect.
Even in this filter. Anyway.
We can't get rid of our flaws. We got to embrace them, whatever that means.
That's right.
And then the last card, which is, it goes from Ten of Swords, being completely devastated, to a complete, like, gift of wealth. Now, that wealth, though, with the 10, it happens slow. So we're embarking on this journey. I just want to say, if you make the quantum leap this season to be transparent in every single conversation, every hard conversation with your parents, with your other person, with your friends, with yourself, if you have that really hard conversation, you're going to be taking that leap. It's going to lead you straight into the fields first, It's gonna make you feel
Oh my
incredible.
God, like Rummy. He's like, there's a place beyond the words and the animals. I'll meet you there. There's a field.
Literally. So now you're killing that, right? By being transparent, you're killing that old timeline because that's all that is. And then you're stepping into this timeline of complete abundance, which it seems like that's what everybody's looking for, like in whatever way. But the
Well, you need to also redefine what abundance
yeah,
actually means to you.
as a,
Value and money, money is twisted up and it's going to be changing. Money isn't money. Currency is money. Talent is money.
mm-hmm,
The ability to survive in the world with less is money.
mm-hmm,
I'm not afraid of the future because I don't have any money to lose because I know how to work in relationship with the world so that I always have my needs met. I don't necessarily have more than enough, and I would appreciate more because I actually feel like at a certain point you got to get out of the fucking Hunger Games, especially it's like after how many are there? 7? We don't even watch anymore. It's over. We're done with that story. We have to actually new franchise, new franchise.
yeah,
Get out of there. What do you want from Jennifer now? And it's not that Red Sparrow movie.
yeah.
You
I
know what
think
I'm saying? You got
most
to pick a
one
good career trajectory.
yeah, one of the greatest things I've learned from you this whole time is I think through you in a lot of ways I have been healing my money issues, and it's because of the other, side to it or the duality. But I know collectively we harbor so much trauma when it comes to money, and I'm no exception. I
No, I'm so traumatized. I'm so traumatized.
yeah, we overcompensate, we try to do more than we should, we think we need more than what we actually need, and the truth is we only need exactly what we have. So it's kind of
Hmm.
realizing that the wealth of people around us, the ones that are helping us to show us in the direction of the real abundance and the real money that we want to gain, like those are the people that need our time, which is our currency, and that is so much more important. And if you can really unpack our money trauma, because we have so much of it, especially us Pluto
We'll
Scorpios.
do some work with that on the next Moonual. If you come to, I have good exercises for that. I'm a coach. I like do all this shit. I can
Yeah,
remind me of that. I can do a good exercise for that. I have a good exercise.
yeah, we need to like finally take the physical aspect of money and diminish it in our brain so that we can understand that it is everything that we can't see, like breathing, like the air.
Everything I'm not makes me everything I am.
Facts.
Election season, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, electricity is
Wild times, though. Wild times. We are in the wild west of space. Do you understand? I
yeah.
told Nicole to watch Brokeback Mountain, and it resonated because actually all of the humans are the same. It didn't matter that it was about gay men. She's in a dynamic that has a gay man history. The asteroids showed me the way.
In my
They're
past
healing.
life,
Past life.
if
She's
you want
healing that trauma with her gay lover, but now she's a woman, so they're not even gay anymore. You ain't gay no more. What's that video? I ain't gay no more. That
yeah,
I ain't gay no more.
I know
I
exactly.
love women.
If I'm
Yeah.
Natalie Belly,
Women.
love,
It's like, yo, actually, you need to. I look forward to hearing from him.
yo, for real, you never know. Just know. So what we're gonna do soon, like next week, I'm early, not just to get out of. What we're gonna do though is talk about a very interesting topic, right? I mean, I'm calling it the topic of good, bad, and evil. That's what I want to break down. But we're gonna talk about the Paris Hilton documentary that was released. If you haven't watched that documentary, you should.
So wait, let's make a date that we're actually gonna do this so that we can like say watch it before this time. When?
Monday. Monday.
Monday. What
Monday.
day is it? What day is it?
Monday. I just feel like if I over project that I can do it on the weekend, I won't be able to.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay. So it's gonna happen Moon Day, and I will actually prepare, I guess, and be patient because like it is on my mind.
Yeah, I would like to really prepare. And yeah, if you haven't seen the Paris Hilton doc, you should watch it. Just search it up, Paris Hilton documentary on YouTube.
It's actually
It's so good.
exactly what we need right now.
You need
And
to.
she is the greatest of all time.
I want to unpack why her icon was so skewed and how she was traumatized as a child, how she wasn't being transparent about, and all of her abuse that is obviously so sexual that she couldn't talk about because she's literally still in that system, in that game. And I want to talk about sexual abuse and kids because that's the topic of conversation we need to focus on.
100%. And I also just want to say it's all in her chart.
It's
So
big.
we'll show you how this isn't just, we actually can't hate each other or judge each other because it's written.
Yeah.
we have to observe each other and love each other for being these perfect data points
Mhm.
of the universe in motion. It's fucking dope.
It really isn't that. And the last thing I want to say about how that is so crucial is that we are stepping into the age of Aquarius, right? And she is an Aquarius, like stepping up at this time, going through this, and her voice is finally being pushed out there.
Preview, she's an Aquarius Sun South node, exactly opposite her Leo Moon North node.
And Praxis, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna DM you after, so you can send me the link personally because I know I'll lose it. But yeah, the links don't work here.
Yeah,
But
ours doesn't work either yet. Well,
I want to see. I want to read that, and then like can like really get a little bit more detail about it. And so expect that from us because we're gonna talk about it. This is an incredibly important topic to me, and we're also gonna like talk about how Paris Hilton's life is similar to Britney Spears and what Britney Spears has been going through because I know y'all seen what she's.
also fascinating charts. We have a Sagittarius Sun, we have an Aquarius Moon. So she is detached, but she is a belief system.
Yeah, literally. And she's fighting, and they're all fighting for their lives. And this fight for our own identities is going to end this age of Aquarius. But we're only at the very beginning. So we're just seeing it all fall. But yeah, I'm definitely going to read that link. I can't wait.
And it all falls down. Yeah, like I can't sing anymore, but like, I know. And it all falls down. Like it's a
Yeah.
whole new world. I love Florida. Okay, cool.
All right.
So wait, I guess that was it. Love you guys.
I
I'll put
think,
up links to the Moonual, and like if you want to tip us, if you had fun, I'm gonna put it in the link in the bio because
yeah.
we are actually ready to be abundant while we're still in this cosmic realm. But we don't need much. Just whatever you can, if you like this, and we'll go from there. We'll figure out what new money is. Okay. Bye.
Bye, guys. Love you guys. We'll talk soon. Also, stay tuned. We might come back eventually and start pulling cards for people, and we'll figure it out.
Yo, I'm so down. I'm down.
So just keep pushing Moonual. If you follow me, go follow the Moonual. Come
Go
here.
follow the Moonual, follow Sarah Armour, follow and Radzi
Yeah.
and dot Radzi. And like literally, yeah, we're here for you. And we're gonna learn how to use YouTube and Facebook and everything. So we out here, okay? Thank you so much. Okay. Bye. Happy Mebon.